Probably a terrible idea for me to do this. Oh, I'm stuck on another rock. That's bad. Yeah, maybe we don't drive in for the intro. What do you say? Yeah, put it in gear. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jade Monkey, and I'm struggling through the trees. We're back here in DayZ 1. I think I'm stuck. We're back here in DayZ 1.11, and we're talking about the changes that have come through and what to expect for the upcoming update. And, you know, for people that are actually playing it when it does come out, you know, to go over that change list. Okay, a few things, a few gotchas. We're going to attack on the front of this. One thing that it is coming for this update, and it is scheduled to be released February 16th, 2021 on all platforms: PC, Xbox One, Xbox One X, PlayStation 4, Xbox One S, PlayStation 5, the Series X and the Series S Xbox, respectively. That's coming out, well, they said February 16th. Okay, so with that coming out, they did announce that there would be a full wipe, or a hard wipe is what we call it. And what does that mean? That means all of your characters information, all of your characters, I mean, I guess it is information when it all comes down to it, all of your loot will be gone. It'll be as if you bought the game day one. All of your alternates will be the same way. Board wipe means just that. Everything that's in the board, on the board, will be cleared. And all the loot tables, loot economy will be set back to its original or intended positions. Hopefully improving all of those things, because we've had stability issues because of all the duping and exploits that have been happening. And we'll read it in the list, but there is, well, I mean, I guess of recording this, there is currently a glow stick glitch, but hopefully the 1.11 will rectify that situation, as it is very game breaking. So hopefully the duping has been addressed fully, or at least long enough for us to enjoy 1.11. The boards will be wiped, and character stuff all gone. Okay. One of the other things we did notice while playing on experimental, so 1.11, if you're trying to repair something, if it is on your person, and yes, this is the same for PlayStation and Xbox. Okay, it's just we currently have it on PC, so this is where we're doing it. Okay, see how that's damaged? If you try to fix it while it's on your back, see how it goes green? You have to put it on the, whoopsie, you have to put it on the ground now to do, well, I guess it's a modification, but you're doing repairs to it. Let's turn on the interface. There we go. Wait, can we see it? Why am I... Hang on. There we go. I just pulled out my gun. Dude, I'm so good at this game. Look at me go. There we go. Can we... Is this a sewing kit one? I bet it is. Look at me go. Okay, there we go. Man, that was a terrible demonstration. Basically what it means is you have to take things off to repair it. So if you're trying to do it while it's on you, just know that's not broken. It's just a mechanic that has been changed. Also, if you've been away from the game for a very long time, get your food under control. And for the love, wash your hands when you do stuff in this game, and dump out any clean water you find, or any water, I'm sorry, that you find in canisters. Good example, they got one up here. I still have people going, I'm sick violently, and I don't know how to stop. Well, here's a little tip. If your meters are full, you're less likely to get things like cholera and dysentery and things like that. See how this has water in it right now? Don't trust it, right? Just assume it all has cholera until you fill it up with something clean, and your hands are clean. Go ahead and empty that out. I'm just putting it out there. I've gotten quite a few comments for this. Bam, that's clean now. But if you are sick and you take little gulps from this, you're going to make yourself sick again. Anyways, on to the good stuff. Let's go up here and check it out. By the way, if you're looking for hot action in this game, and I'm talking hot action on official, no joke, Livonia by the airfield. Let me show you where this is at on the map real quick. I promise, we're getting to the changes right here. You basically spawn on the river, or up and down the river. Just head to the airfield in Galinska. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Listen to the sweet sounds of loot. It will come to you, I promise. Okay, on to the changes. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, added new textures for the static abandoned M3S truck. Added abandoned truck parts for the M3S. Starting a vehicle will now slightly deplete the battery. Just so you know, having that battery recharger around is going to be your best friend now. It definitely has a use, or just extra batteries, or all of the above. Added flags of the winners of our base building contest. Garden plots can now be removed with shovels and pickaxes. Found an exploit, I believe this is the glow stick glitch. Fixed an exploit to look glitch through walls. Plants can now become infested. I think that's like decay rate. Fixed a server crash related to pulling corpses out of vehicles. Fixed a game crash connected to item attachments. The player can no longer execute certain actions when legs are broken. The player can no longer dance with a broken leg. Preparing mackerels and carp did not stain the player's hands with blood, but it does now. Again, if you're preparing an animal, just wash your hands. You can do it with pop. You can do it with dirty water. I'm sorry, soda. Soda pap. An applied splint would disappear if the player's inventory was full at the moment of the healing was completed. The pumpkin helmet was still shining when ruined. Again, these are all fixes. Flare shot by the flare gun often disappeared inside of objects, although the flare gun is a ton of fun. Remember the time where you could load flare gun ammo in a M4? Just saying, that was great. The glow of the flare was immense when seen from up close. They scaled it. Getting out of the car would result in the character appearing on the roof when an object was on the exit position. It just made it difficult because sometimes you take deeps on it. It was goofy. I'm glad that's been addressed because that was quite annoying. Fixed a server error caused by repeated crouching during an ongoing action. The inventory of the improvised shelter can be accessed on the closed off sides. That's huge. Again, real quick, I would strongly recommend, even with the new update, bases are awesome. Use them. Love them. But just know that your best loot should always be on your characters when you sign out. The best. Overflow should go there. Functioning things should happen inside the base. Shelters are great because you can hide them off the beaten path for sure, but don't expect your stuff to stay there too long. I would say if you were to order the way you want to protect your gear, I would say signing out with alternates for the first. Second would be stashing in the ground. And tertiary would be hiding it like in a shelter. And then maybe fourth, like in a base. But that's got to be like your worst loot. You know what I'm saying? Anyways. Hey, Steve. Thanks for watching the loot, buddy. You know what? I better take this off my back. Oh, there's another one right there. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. I gotta read the list, dude. What are you guys doing? A moment when you have a full drum. Let's go back upstairs. What do you say? Boop, boop, boop. I guess in here. There we go. Okay, back to the list. Jeez, come on, Jade. What are you doing? Fix your server error. The inventory of the improvised shelters, you can grab them on the side. So yeah, basically I saw this and I'm like, hey, ways we can stash loot. That's good that we can access it from both sides. They are super useful, man. Infected could hit the player through shelters and tents. That's cool. They fixed that. Infected could enter closed-off containers, variants 2A and B. I think that has to do with like dock cargo areas, if I'm not mistaken. The wrong particle effect was displayed when hitting the infected pipe wrench or lug wrench. Adjusted collisions and occluders of buildings against unwanted behavior. Remove collisions of low-hanging tree branches for better navigation. Exploit allowing players to get infinite plant seeds. Yeah, we did that by accident a ton. I don't know how it did it, but I'm glad they fixed it. Gardens are a huge part of you staying alive when you first respawn, especially like Livonia and stuff because it rains so often there. Inventory of the M3S truck did not refresh after removing attachments from attached containers from it. Dashboard on certain vehicles would disappear after certain actions. Ruined hatchets showed the wrong texture. Contents of the fireplace would not always be displayed correctly in the world. Indoor fireplace could sometimes get wet during rain. Again, if you're a player that's played in the past and have come back, if you place a fire inside of a building and it's not inside one of these, it will not light. Or if it's too wet, it will not light. So a little heads up, a little friendly heads up. Barbed wire could block the damage of grenades. Sounds were missing when skinning some tools. It was possible to build overlapped fences and watchtowers. I don't know if that means if you can stack it or not. That's something we're going to have to experiment with over on the Series X when we're playing on the experimental, but soon enough it'll be on Live Branch. Swapping materials attached to base buildings could trigger a desynchronization. Oof, desync bad. Fixed a server error when checking the pulse of disconnected player. Battery charger was not heavy anymore. I'm sorry, the battery charger is not a heavy item anymore. Battery charger could not recharge car and truck batteries. Yeah, it was pretty much useless. Items could not be rotated and placed on the same space. I wonder if that means in the world or inventory. We don't have loot Tetris. I wonder if that means placement, like world placement. Placing a connected battery into the inventory would not disconnect it. You would have infinite battery. That's awesome. It was possible to use items placed in attached slots for crafting operations. Entering a vehicle with a chem light or road flare turned on would ruin them. It was problematic to open and close doors of certain vehicles in third person. It is no longer possible to cut a raincoat into armbands when its inventory isn't empty. That's cool. That would basically wreck your items. Attempting to throw a handheld plug device would unplug it, preventing it from being turned back on. Slicing a rotten pumpkin produced edible pumpkin slices. Same thing with the fish. Players were unable to remove some car parts from close range. Engine belt was displayed on the Ada 4x4. It was possible to craft a long torch from a sharpened stick with food attached, causing the food to disappear. Items split in the inventory of the truck would appear below it. Items were appearing on the roof when swapped. When swapped them while inside of specific buildings. That's terrible. It was not possible to open cans that were upside down while in a full inventory. That's interesting. I don't think that'll necessarily be us because we don't deal with loot Tetris on console. Character hand slot became broken after exiting a vehicle. In the water, endless white cable appeared after placing spotlight. It was possible to sometimes light a fireplace underwater. Dip boop bip. Updated the tarp fabric. Durability? Oh, durability. That's nice. Okay. More tools can be used to slice pumpkins. Excellent. Reduced initial velocity of the 5.56 4.5 ammunition to 9%. Basically a nerf. This is a huge one here. Well, part of it. These next two. Barbed wire and fire now deal damage to infected and animals. Here's the biggest one, I think. Deployed barbed wire can only be dismantled from the inside of a fence and watchtower. Beautiful. Fireplace now warms a larger area with maximum heat reaching further. Lowered the maximum heat of the fireplace. Updated credits. Here's another couple big ones. Reduced the amount of ammunition and magazines. Tweaked the deagle and revolver now spawn in towns only. Repeater tiers adjusted from tier 1, 2, and 3 to 2, 3, and 4. The repeater is a monster. Batteries won't spawn with a full charge anymore. Whoa. Bare pellets, everything else, etc., etc. There's been some slight tweaks. I know we had a couple of crashes on experimental. Again, I'm playing on the Series X. We're playing on official stuff. I think we had one crash to dashboard. The PC version of the experimental seems fairly stable, and they're moving along. So we no longer have to guess when this is happening. So I think a lot of the polish is going to come from the wipe and stuff that's going to be happening in loot economy balances, from what we can gather. Because as you know, with all the duping, there is a count made with how many things are on the board, and then that influences whether things spawn in or not. And I know with all the duping, it kind of sets things out of whack. So another reason why we use alternates, because when we clap dupers, we just take the loot off the board. Because as far as I understand it, it's no longer counted on the players when you sign out, or even when they're on your person per se. Okay, I mean, that could very well change. All right, let's get the last couple pieces here. We had a couple flying updates along the way. Experimental update 2, improved the client performance when holding an item in hands. Continued damage from a fireplace or barbed wire after moving away. Packed a tent while having an item in the hand would not hide the item. Resuscitation, I was like, what's that word? While having an item in the hands caused it to appear in the middle of the action. Blurred text on the logout dialogue. Camera clipping issues at the big ATC building and airfield service hangar. Okay, yeah, that's on both boards. Infected, walking through service hangar doors. Several object placement issues on Chernar's terrain. The flare from the signal pistol now falls down slower. I think that's everything we have to date right now. Anything else will probably be just main polish tweaks. They don't really add any features much beyond this. So just keep that all in mind. So even though you may be waiting for this, or this could be after the release, all those things should stick. Overall, I'm going to say I'm happy for this update. I know there's been no like crazy big things added to the game, but we needed this polish and some balance. I know there'll most likely be some adjustments and tweaks after the update comes out and the wipe does happen. So here's what I would suggest if this is happening or watching this before the wipe. Take all your characters, right? And just go out there and get into some PvP. Go up to the airfield if you're in Chernarus. Follow the gunshots, get crazy. Feel what it's like to have the weapons and use them. And then as soon as this wipe happens, it's going to be crazy good. I cannot wait to sign in and for us to just like kind of start all over, because you see us start all over like constantly. So I'm really looking forward to this. This is the patch that we needed, the balance that we needed, and hopefully this wipe will restore a lot of balance back into the game, which has been sorely needed for most of 2020. There's been, spawn issues and stuff, so I'm very excited for it, and hopefully we'll see you guys there. If you found this useful and helpful, be sure to drop a like, and if you want to stay up to date on news for DayZ and things like Rust, open world survival type games, consider dropping a subscribe if you haven't already, and hopefully we'll see you in the next live stream / video. Yes? Car's stuck anyway. We might as well. Oh, I'm jammed. All right. See you later. Bye. I'm trying to hose the car and it gets wrecked.